Hi, it's Erik, and welcome to our video conversation this week. Before coming to Washington, I spent the day in Chaska on Monday. We had a Congress on your corner going into the weekend. We also were with Mayor Mark, former Mayor Bob Repke, who took me around visiting at the Dunn Brothers coffee shop with local residents and connecting at the American Legion, the police chief, and visiting MRCI Workforce that deals a lot with folks with developmental disabilities, getting them into the workforce, and some of their clients. Really enjoyed that opportunity. Then we came to Washington, and now we have our questions for the week. And we had some good ones actually came in. The first one is an email that came in from Matt in Eden Prairie. And he writes in, Dear Congressman Paulsen, as you may be aware, on April 13th, the House Judiciary Committee unanimously passed the Email Privacy Act, an incredibly important piece of legislation that would implement long overdue reforms to the Electronic Communications Privacy Act. I ask you to support the bill to bring the old law into the 21st century and to ensure that our emails and text messages are given the privacy protections that they deserve. Thank you, Matt. Matt, actually, thanks for letting me know of your support for that legislation. I'm a co-sponsor of that bill. What Matt's referring to is way back in 1986, Congress passed a law that essentially guaranteed standards for electronic communications. At that time, a lot of electronic information was just stored on servers. But the law has been woefully outdated for over 30 years, to the point where literally after 180 days, your email is considered electronic communication, and it's considered abandoned. And when it's considered abandoned, any government agency has the right to review and look at your personal email. That is wrong. We actually passed the legislation in the House this week. I'm a co-sponsor of the bill, guaranteeing bringing up the law up to current standards so that the government will have to have a warrant to look at any email of yours, just as they have to, as law enforcement have to have a warrant to look at anything that they have to have just cause to do. Next up is an email also that comes in from John in Chanhassen, and he writes in, Dear Representative Paulsen, manufacturers across the country are still struggling to gain momentum with the economy still struggling. Manufacturing has always been an iconic industry in the United States, and it's disappointing to see so many of them struggle. Congress should be taking action to help these small businesses to grow and create more jobs. Please do all you can to support them. Sincerely, John. You know, John, you're absolutely right. Small businesses in particular have had a tough time in an economic recovery recently. In fact, it was just announced that the economy grew by only 0.5% GDP this first quarter. It's unacceptable. You got an outdated tax code. You've got a regulatory environment coming down from Washington. It's hurting small business. One action that we did take to help small business manufacturers this week is alleviating or reducing tariffs for the inputs or what materials they have to use to produce different products here in the United States. Many of these provisions used to be in law. They expired not too long ago, so we passed a provision in the House. The Senate's going to act quickly. It'll be on the President's desk, guaranteeing that American manufacturers, small manufacturers, medium manufacturers, we have them right in Minnesota, will not have to pay tariffs or essentially a border tax on their inputs of materials that go into producing these products. It's a huge savings, $748 million or more annually, so it's a big deal, and we need to make sure that our domestic manufacturers aren't going to compete around the world with one hand tied around their back. Thanks for joining the conversation this week. Continue to reach out anytime with your questions, your thoughts, your ideas. We look forward to seeing you soon. You can reach me at paulsen.house.gov. Have a great week and a great weekend.